So, Paras, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. So I'm Paras Ahuja. I'm a resident of District Panchkula in the state of Haryana. Sir, I graduated in the year 2022 from National Law University, Jodhpur. Sir, I consider myself as a compassionate and a goal-oriented person, and I really enjoy working hard to achieve my goals. Sir, my hobbies include researching and writing on topics of my interest, occasionally writing poems to unburden myself, and discussing about my life with my parents.
Paras, you have done your law from National Law University. Can you please tell me which national law school you have pursued your LLB?
Yes, sir, from Jodhpur, sir.
Okay. So, Paras, what
Yes,
is the
sir.
meaning of your name?
Yes, sir. Sir, Paras is a precious stone, and if it comes in contact with iron, then it turns iron into gold. Sir, with respect to human beings, Paras has a metaphorical significance to refer to purity and the transformative nature of a person.
So you have the capabilities of turning iron into gold.
Yes, sir.
So, Paras, what is your native place? That is Panchkula itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your parental home is in Panchkula itself. Am I right?
So we are currently residents of Panchkula, and for the past 10 years, we've been living in Chandigarh or Panchkula alternatively. But my father belongs to a village in Haryana, sir. Sanyana village in Fatehbad district, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay. So far as now you are appearing for Himachal Pradesh Judiciary,
Yes, sir.
why you are giving preference to Himachal over Haryana?
Yes, sir. Sir, it is the serenity of the state of Himachal Pradesh, its pious ambience, and the fact that it sits in the lap of the nature, which really attracted me towards the state of Himachal Pradesh. Moreover, sir, I feel that my temperament, the kind of person I am, it aligns a lot with Himachal Pradesh. It is the spiritual inclination of the persons. The people here are so rooted in their traditions, and it's a peace-loving state. So that is the kind of life I've always wanted to live, and that's why I'm so motivated to serve in the state of Himachal Pradesh.
So as you said that you are tilted towards the traditions of Himachal,
Yes, sir.
Paras, how many times you have visited Himachal Pradesh?
Sir, I have never gotten the opportunity to visit Himachal Pradesh, but I have known the traditions of Himachal Pradesh through some persons I have known and through whatever I have read on the internet and in the media, sir.
So, Paras, how many districts are there in Himachal?
So there are 12 districts in Himachal Pradesh.
And which is the biggest district area-wise?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. I'll have to research about it, sir. I'll research about it, sir.
Paras, as you are currently residing in Panchkula,
Yes, sir.
and how far the border of Himachal is from Panchkula?
Sir, it's very close. In fact, I think about if we travel 40 minutes from Panchkula, we'll be able to see the beautiful hills of Solan. And that's what I experienced for the first time when I went there for prelims, sir.
Okay. So, which is the first town of Himachal which comes on the way?
Sir, if I'm not wrong, it's Parvanu, sir.
Paras, as when you are traveling from Panchkula to Shimla,
Yes, sir.
there is a town named as Pinjore.
Yes, sir.
So, Pinjore falls in Himachal or in Haryana?
Sir, it falls in Haryana, sir. It is a part of the Panchkula district. It's a town within the Panchkula district, sir.
Okay. Paras, as with respect specifically to the Himachal Pradesh,
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you that what you have learned about the traditions of Himachal.
Yes, sir. Sir, about the traditions of Himachal, when it comes to the cuisine, then uh, the Himachali Dham is not unknown to anyone. So even apart from the Himachali Dham, we have very sumptuous Himachali food like thupka, and then we have babru, and then sir we have sir, Sidhu is again a very important cuisine in the state of Himachal Pradesh. So, and not just the cuisine, sir, the kullu shawls, the chamba rumals, and the pullan chappals. I couldn't stop myself from again and again looking at the pictures. And sir, I have myself worn a lot of kullu shawls. Sir, when it comes to the handicrafts and the paintings, then the name of Kangra paintings emerges as one of the most beautifully crafted arts of our country. So not just that, in the tradition of the state of Himachal Pradesh, we see that there is a spiritual inclination and that can be witnessed from the Mahashivratri fair, which is conducted in the district of Mandi every year, sir. So the state of Himachal Pradesh is a home to so many temples, and I feel like it has been blessed by God specifically in that respect when it comes to Chintapurni Devi Ji or Chamunda Devi Ji or Naina Devi Ji. Yes, sir. So we can say, sir, the state of Himachal Pradesh is very rich culturally.
Okay. Paras, as your father, as you stated in your form, that he is a government officer in
Yes, sir.
HSAMB. What is HSAMB?
Yes, sir. So HSAMB is Haryana State Agricultural Marketing Committee.
Okay. So your father is an IAS officer, I believe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So he joined the Haryana Civil Services, and after serving for some years, 3 years back, he was inducted into the Indian Administrative Service, sir.
Paras, with respect to your hobbies, please
Yes,
tell
sir.
us something.
Yes, sir. So I really like to research and write on topics of my interest. For
So
instance,
what kind of interest you have?
so generally I like to research on social legal topics. So one of the topics that I researched on recently was the progressive trajectory of the Domestic Violence Act, which can be seen through a slew of Supreme Court judgments, starting from, yes, sir.
Paras, Domestic Violence Act is a civil law or it is a criminal law?
So it provides us with both the remedies, civil as well as criminal, sir. It's a
Okay,
mixture of the two, sir.
so in which section of the Domestic Violence Act the protection orders are being enshrined?
So it's given under Section 18 of the Domestic Violence Act, sir.
Paras, as you have done your law from Jodhpur, yes.
Yes, sir.
So which places in Jodhpur you had visited?
So I had visited the Mehrangarh Fort. So I had visited Old City, and there are a lot of heritage hotels in the whole city. So I had visited them, sir. So I also had the pleasure of visiting Mandor Gardens, sir.
So Mehrangarh Fort, which Rajput ruler has uh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
built
it's
up this particular fort?
Sir Rao Jodha, sir.
Paras, which subject of law is of your interest?
So the Indian Evidence Act is of great interest to me, sir.
Okay. So, as you stated that Indian Evidence Act is of your interest, can you please tell me that as recently the Parliament has placed three bills on the table with
Yes,
respect
sir.
to the point that CRPC, IPC, and the Indian Evidence Act are going to be repealed and the new enactments will be there. So,
Yes,
with respect to the Indian Evidence Act,
yes,
what
sir.
changes you see in the current bill which is there on table?
Yes, sir. Sir, the first change I see is that the definition of oral evidence has been widened to include the evidence which is given electronically. Sir, further, the definition of electronic evidence has also been widened to include material that is stored in semiconductor memory. Sir, moreover, the instances under which we can give secondary evidence as specified under the section 65 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 have also been increased. One more instance has been added, which is in case the genuineness of the document is in question. In that case, secondary evidence can be given. Sir, apart from that, with respect to Section 123 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, certain changes have been made under the new bill. That is that if any advice has been tendered from the Council of Ministers to the President, then the court in no case can ask for production of such document before it, even if the same is not harmful to public interest per se, sir.
Paras,
Yes.
as in the Indian Evidence Act, along with the Code of Criminal Procedure and along with the process of investigation, there is a very important concept that is being called as the test identification parade.
Sir,
And
sir, I couldn't hear you, sir.
my question to you is
Yes, sir.
that in Indian Evidence Act, apart from that, in the CRPC, as well as in the process of investigation, there is a very important concept that is called as the test identification parade.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, under which provision of the Indian Evidence Act test identification parade is considered to be relevant?
So it's Section 9 of the Indian Evidence Act.
Do it specifically provides with respect to the word test identification parade, or some other things are mentioned in section 9?
So it doesn't use specifically the word test identification parade, but it states that any fact is relevant if it helps the court ascertain the identity of the person whose identity is relevant, or identity of a thing whose identity is relevant. So, since by conducting a test identification parade, the identity of the accused, there's clarity on the issue of identity of the accused. Therefore, test identification parade is considered relevant under Section 9, under this specific phrase, sir.
Paras, if during the investigation the police authorities had not gone through with the test identification parade of the concerned accused, and directly in the court of law, at the stage of trial, the identification is required to be done. Do it is
Yes, sir.
permissible?
Sir, in some cases it would be permissible. For example, sir, if the accused was arrested on the spot, or if the victim knew the accused from before, or if the victim had provided very precise details about the identity of the accused in the FIR. Sir, so in all these situations, there's no need to conduct test identification parade. So although as a matter of prudence in all other cases, it is required that test identification parade should be conducted. However, sir, even otherwise, there is an exception to it, as held in the Manu Sharma case, sir, that a test identification parade nowhere under the Code of Criminal Procedure or under the Indian Evidence Act is a condition precedent for the admissibility of identification evidence. Therefore, even if it is not conducted and the court feels that the testimony of the witness at the time of doc identification is blemishless and creditworthy, then the court may ignore the factum of the test identification parade having not been conducted, sir.
Whereas if the test identification parade is being conducted and the police officers themselves conducted,
yes, sir.
What will be the impact of this?
Sir, then the bar of Section 162 CRPC would apply, and then it cannot be used to corroborate the testimony of the witness at the time of doc identification, sir.
So, can a judicial magistrate can also conduct test identification parade?
Sir, although the general rule is that it should be conducted by an executive magistrate, but sir, in my opinion, if a judicial magistrate conducts it, then that would also be valid, in my opinion, sir.
Paras, as with respect to the concept of remand.
Yes, sir.
In section 167 of the Indian Evidence Act, it is stated that only when the accused is produced before the concerned magistrate, only
yes,
for the first initial 15 days, the
yes,
police
sir.
custody can be granted.
Yes, sir.
How you see this particular provision? Do it is justified, or the police remand should be given beyond the 15 days period also?
Sir, I feel that in the Senthil Balaji case, the Supreme Court expressed its opinion that the police remand should be, the decision in the Anupam Kulkarni case should be reconsidered, and police remand should be granted even after 15 days. But sir, my personal opinion on this matter is that if police remand is granted even after 15 days, then that might increase the scope for use of illicit means to extract confessions out of the accused persons, and scope for custodial torture or other such illegal activities might also increase. So, sir, in my personal opinion, the 15-day limit and the first 15-day limit is a good law, sir.
So, as you stated that there will be more possibilities of custodial interrogations
Yes,
and
sir.
tortures, etc., can be there. Is
Yes.
it not you are pointing out that police conducts torture over the prisoners?
Um, no, sir, I am not making a general statement with respect to that. So, in fact, it is because of the police officers that we are able to sit and sleep in a secured manner in our houses. But, sir, we have to consider the interests of the accused person also in hand. And we have to frame our laws in such a way that there is no possibility of abuse if such a law falls into the hands of any unscrupulous persons. So, sir, considering the due process model of law, I feel that the criminal law should have sufficient cushions to protect the rights of the accused persons, and that's why, sir, I feel like that. Yes.
Uh, Paras, just tell me one thing that when the statements of witnesses are being recorded by the police officers under Section 161,
Yes.
it is clearly mentioned in 162 that such statements should not be signed.
Yes,
But
sir.
still, in the practical scenario, the statements are usually signed by the witnesses, and the police
Yes, sir.
officers usually go for that.
Yes, sir.
So, how you see this particular thing?
Sir, as per the law laid down by the Supreme Court on this point, merely because the statement is signed would not mean that the statement cannot be considered at all by the court for any purpose, but the court will approach it in a cautionary manner and will try to look at the statement in light of the facts and the circumstances, and will not eschew it from consideration altogether, sir.
Paras, as recently the Honorable Supreme Court has uh, given certain guidelines and directions with regard to the gender sensitivity
Yes.
and judicial stereotyping. Can you give me some instances that how the gender stereotyping is there in the judiciary?
Yes, sir. Sir, can I take few seconds to think, sir?
Yes, sure, sure.
Sir, one major instance of gender stereotyping that we see that which was also taken note of by the Supreme Court in Aparna Bhatt case, is sometimes courts pass bail orders which have very stereotypical bail conditions. For example, sir, in this case, when the court was considering tie for Rakhi bail conditions. So, sir, these are examples of how sometimes the courts might perpetuate gender stereotypes unintentionally and unknowingly, sir. Sir, another example is that certain leading lawyers have also reported on this matter that the court atmosphere and the way they are treated by the senior advocates and other lawyers, sometimes the female lawyers are treated by senior advocates. There is a sense of male chauvinism, and there is a sense of stereotyping sometimes that is found in the litigation circles. So we should take care that that is completely removed with judicial interference, sir.
Paras, with respect to the Himachal Pradesh Urban Rent Control Act,
Yes, sir.
there was a judgment passed by the Honorable High Court of Himachal Pradesh, and with respect to Section 14 of the HP Rent Control Act,
Yes, sir.
a, a big point was discussed by the Honorable High Court. Can you tell me what is that point and which judgment it was?
Sir, with respect to Section 14, sir.
Yes, with respect to
Uh,
the determination of rent as well as with respect to Section 14 also.
okay, sir, I believe it's the Chaman Lal Bali versus State of Himachal Pradesh decision. So is it that decision, sir?
Yes.
Okay,
But
yes.
what is the point
Uh,
decided by Honorable High Court?
Yes, sir. So in that case, the High Court first of all struck down the amendments that were made by the 2009 amendment, which came into force in 2012, with respect to the provisions of determination of rent and the allied provisions under Section 5 and 6. So with respect to Section 14 specifically, Sir, I'm not very clear on that point, but can I make a guess, sir, if you permit me? Can I make an educated guess, sir?
Yes, yes.
Sir, I believe that it was on the point of the right to re-entry after eviction has been made on the ground that the land in question is required by the government or the improvement trust in that under section 14 clause 3, sir. And it was provided that the provision that the right to re-entry should be decided by a mutual consent of the landlord and tenant. That particular part was struck down by the court because the court found that it was very arbitrary, sir. So that is what I can recall at the moment, sir.
Paras, how many honorable justices are sitting in the Himachal Pradesh High Court currently,
So there are presently 12 sitting judges in the High Court.
including Chief Justice?
Yes, sir, including Chief Justice, sir.
And who is the current Chief Justice of HP High Court?
Sir, Honorable Justice Ramachandra Rao.
Paras, if you are being selected as a judicial officer and a bail application comes to you, in what time duration you have to decide that bail application?
So I would decide it within 2 weeks as laid down by the Supreme Court in Satyendra Kumar Antal versus CBI decision, sir.
Paras, my last question to you is that what do you mean by demographic dividend?
Yes, sir. So demographic dividend is the point that we reach in with respect to the number of our population, which is most suitable to our economic and social growth.